that you all had a fabulous Memorial Day weekend. I'm really excited that we are starting off our short week. We have school today, tomorrow, and Friday. We are moving into topic 15 in math. You will not be tested this week for math. That will be at the end of next week, just so you guys know what's coming up. So we are on to topic 15. We are going to be looking today on solving perimeter and area math problems. Okay, now I know in third grade you guys learned all about perimeter and area. Remember, area is the inside space. It's measured in square feet, square meters, square, whichever unit you're using. And to find the area, you do the length multiplied by the width. So length times width is area. For the perimeter, it is all around the outside. So you would add up all of the sides. So you would add the length plus the width plus the width, okay? Think about area like an area rug, like a rug that takes up space, and think about the perimeter as like a fence that would go around an area. So today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be looking at a few of these area and perimeter problems and kind of working backwards to solve. So area and perimeter in fourth grade is quite different than area and perimeter in third grade. We are going to be spending 2 days on this topic, and I know that you guys are going to do just great with it. So let's go ahead and get started.
How can you use perimeter and area to solve problems? Perimeter is the distance around a figure and is measured in feet, yards, meters, or miles. Area is the amount of surface a figure covers and is measured in square feet, square yards, square meters, or square miles. What is the area of the new state park?
Okay, so we have the park here, which is a rectangular shape. They are telling me that the width of the park is 7 miles, and whatever's on one side is going to be on the other side. So I would have 7 here, I would have a 7 here. But they're telling me what the perimeter is, and we know that the perimeter is when you add up all the sides. So you need to know what these numbers are to be able to add them up. So let's find out how we're going to do that.
What do you know?
Well,
the park is a rectangle. The perimeter of the park is 36 miles, and the park is 7 miles wide. Area equals length times width. What is the hidden question here? The width is known. The hidden question is, what is the length of the park? The length is 11 miles, and the width is 7 miles. Area equals length.
Okay, so I'm going to go back because he just went a little too fast there for us, so hang on.
What is the hidden question here?
Okay, so basically what he just did was a lot of work really fast that I don't know that we necessarily were able to see, okay? So what they're saying is, what's the hidden question here? Well, the hidden questions are, we know what the width is, but we do not know what the length is, okay? And they're giving you area equals length times width. We're not solving for area here right now, so he's just kind of giving us some additional information, but we don't really need it right now, okay? So if our perimeter is 36 miles, that means 7 plus 7, which 7 times 2 is 14. So these two sides combined would be 14. Now to figure out what these sides are, we only really need to figure out what one side is. We would have to do 36 minus 14, okay? So if we did 36 minus 14, that would give us 22, I believe. And then 22 divided by 2, because we don't just have one side, we have two sides. That would give us the length of one of the sides. And then if we added 7 plus 7 plus 11 plus 11, that should equal 36.
The width is known. The hidden question is, what is the length of the park? If one side is 7 miles wide, then the opposite side is 7 miles wide because the park is a rectangle. 14 miles of the perimeter are identified. The formula for perimeter is length plus width plus width. If the perimeter is 36 miles, then the total length of both of the other sides is 22 miles. Since the park is a rectangle, each side has to be the same length. So each of the other sides is 11 miles long. Use the answer to the hidden question to answer the original question. What is the area of the new state park?
Okay, so now we would want to figure out what the area is. Now we remember that the formula for area is area equals length times width. Well, now that we did all of that back work to figure out what the length is, we know that the width is 7, the length is 11. So we would have to multiply 7 times 11. And 7 times 11 is 77.
The length is 11 miles and the width is 7 miles. Area.
All right, so we are going to look at a couple of the quiz questions today. Now, I have to tell y'all, you know me, I'm always super honest with you. I took this quiz 5 times before I was able to get all 5 correct, and it was driving me absolutely bananas. I was like, what am I doing wrong? And I had my mom look at it. I had my mom's boyfriend Philly look at it, and I was like, what's happening here? Why can't we figure this out? And I reached out to my friend who is a high school math teacher, and he said to me, Miss Lawson, you are being so silly. You are reading the problem wrong. So once I realized I was reading the problem wrong, I was like, oh no, I see what I was doing now. So with area and perimeter problems especially on your R page, especially on your P page that you're going to do tomorrow, you need to make sure that you are not being silly like me and you are really taking your time and reading what the question is asking you and looking at the information that is presented on the problem. Okay, so we're going to solve through these together and I'll explain to you guys on the next one what I did wrong and you guys are going to be like, oh, Miss Lawson, you're so silly. But you know what? We're all human. We all make mistakes, and we make mistakes so that when we know better, we do better. So I made the mistake so y'all don't have to, okay? So for this one, it says to find the length of the rectangle. So we have 7 inches is our width, and our length is unknown, and we are given our perimeter. Now remember, the formula for perimeter is length plus width plus width. So in order to figure this out, what I need to do is I know whatever is on one side is automatically going to be on the other side because this is a rectangle. A rectangle is made up of 2 sides of equal, or 2 sides of equal numbers. Okay, so whatever's here is going to be here. So I have 7 times 2, which again just happens to be 14. And my total perimeter is 34. So you guys can't see it, but what I'm doing right now is I'm going to take my 34 and I'm going to subtract 14 from that. I added 7 plus 7 to get 14. And now I'm going to take that total and subtract it from this 34 to figure out what's left that would go here and here, okay? So if I have 34 minus 14, 4 minus 4 is 0, 3 minus 1 is 2. I am left with a difference of 20. Now I have to take that 20 and make it work. Half of it's going to go here, and half of it's going to go here. So if I am going to be dividing that over 2 sides, I would want to do 20 divided by 2, and 20 divided by 2 is 10. So
10 inches.
Answer for this one is going to be 10 inches. Now we can check that because if I have 10 here, 10 here, 7 here, and 7 here, if I add those numbers up, 10 plus 10 plus 7 plus 7, it should give me 34. So 7 times 2 is 14, and 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 3. It does check out. It gives me 34 inches, so that is the correct answer. Okay, now watch this very closely. In this box right here, it says perimeter equals 34 inches. This is where your girl made a mistake. I looked at this and I just assumed because the first problem was giving me perimeter that the second problem was giving me perimeter. What a silly mistake. So this one is giving us area in the middle. Now the formula for area is length times width gives you the area. So for this one, I was solving it exactly the way that we solved the other one, 7, 14, subtracting the whole thing, and I was coming up with 21 miles because if we solved it for the perimeter, that's what it would have been. But it's not. We're trying to figure out 7 times what equals 56. We all know 7 times 8 equals 56, so that's all you have to do for this one when it says area on the inside. The area ones are going to be a little bit less work for you. The next one says a bulletin board is 3 feet high. Its area is 15 square feet. So I don't know if you guys, well, you can't see it because I'm at my house, but I am drawing right now on a piece of paper and I have my bulletin board that's 3 feet high. On the inside, I'm putting my area equals 15 square feet. And I have to figure out what the perimeter of that bulletin board is. So I know that my length times width is going to give me 15. So I'm going to think about my factors, my factors of 15 or my multiples of 3. 3 times what gives us 15? 3 times 5 gives us 15. So that would tell me that my length here is going to be 5. So I'm going to do 3 times 5, 15. I have 2 sets of 3, 2 sets of 5. 5 plus 5 is 10. 3 plus 3 is 6. 10 plus 3 gives me 16 feet. The next one says, Nassam wants to build a kitchen table with a top that has an area of 20 square feet. If the length and width must be whole numbers, what is the best way to find all the possible dimensions of the tabletop? Divide 20 by all numbers between 1 and 20. Multiply every number between 1 and 20 by itself. Multiply every number between 1 and 20 by 2, or estimate. So right away, I'm going to eliminate the estimate because that's just not going to be the best choice for this problem. And now I'm going to break the rest of them down. Multiply every number between 1 and 20 by 2. So that's basically telling me do 1 times 2, 2 times 2, 3 times 2, 4 times 2, 5 times 2. Is that ever going to give me an area of 20? Maybe if I got to 10 times 2, but I don't know if that's going to be the best way to find all the possible dimensions, so I'm going to say no to that one. The next one says multiply every number between 1 and 20 by itself. So 1 times 1, 2 times 1, 3 times 1. That's just not going to work either. The best choice here is going to be A, divide 20 by all numbers between 1 and 20. This is another way of us kind of working backwards to figure out all of the factors that can make 20, okay? So 1 times 20, 10 times 2, 4 times 5, that would be the best option. And then the last problem, Nassam wants to build a kitchen table with a top that has an area of 20 square feet. If the length and width must be whole numbers, which pair of dimensions makes the most sense for a table? So if you guys can think about it like this, you would have 1 by 20. So it would be 1 tile by 20 tiles. It would probably be like this long and this thin. Do you think that would make sense for a kitchen table to have a super long table? Like you could literally fit 20 chairs going down the sides of it, like a 42 chair table. Does that make sense? I don't think so. The next one says 2 by 10. So it would be 2 by 10. So that would be 10, 20, 22, 24 tables. Chairs. That doesn't really make sense either. Or 4 by 5. So it would be 4 going one way, 5 going the other way. Or 3 by 6. Well, 3 by 6 doesn't even give you 20. 3 times 6, that's 18. That doesn't even make any sense. So the best choice here is going to be C, 4 by 5. All right, let's see how well we did. Drum roll. And we got them all correct, okay? So what you guys are going to do is you guys are going to work on the R page for this topic today. I know on the R page, it kind of breaks things down for you. So it's going to repeat like area equals this, perimeter equals this. Just fill in the blanks as necessary. If you guys have any questions or you need any help or any support at all, please do not hesitate to send me a message on Class Dojo. I will do my very best to help you through the problems. I will be on standby tomorrow to do that for you. Once you're finished with your R page, please have your mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, whomever is there with you, take a picture of it and send it to me so that I can check your work for accuracy. I miss you guys. I hope that you have a beautiful day. I will talk to you soon. Take care.